Right. Unmarried couples should be given the same inheritance right as married couples if one of them dies without leaving a will. That's what the government's legal advisor, the Law Commission, is proposing. It means that couples with children, or those who have lived together for 5 years, would be treated as if they were married. After living together for 2 years, a surviving partner could claim half of the estate. Well, to get more on this, David Allison is the Vice Chairman of Resolution, and that's an association of more than 5,000 family lawyers. David, welcome to the programme. Let's explain this, because this seems very, very radical. Is it really going to make much of a difference?
Oh, it's going to affect a huge number of people. It's estimated that there are about 2.5 million cohabiting couples at the moment, and so there's a lot of people that it will potentially impact on. One of the current difficulties is that the research shows that cohabiting couples believe that they have rights because of the fact that they live together, and in fact that they don't.
With the whole phrase common law wife, common law husband.
Absolutely, which we hear all of the time. It's a complete myth. It simply doesn't exist. So people are vulnerable both on death and on separation. And those are both issues that need to be addressed. Of course, this is looking at intestacy, i.e. what happens on death. But it is a narrow part of what needs to be done.
There's also another side to this, though, as to, OK, if these couples have chosen not to get married, there's also the idea that if you've lived with someone, say, just for 2 years, you're now entitled to half of their estate if they die.
Well, you're entitled to that if the other person doesn't make a will. It's the default position. It's for those people who...
That's quite significant, isn't it, for just being with someone for 2 years?
Well, it is significant, but as I say, if you don't want that to happen, you can make a will. What this is doing is protecting people who haven't really thought about it. If you've thought about it, taken advice, well, you can do something about it. You can write them out completely if you want to.
OK, what about if children are involved?
If children are involved, the cohabiting partner is going to have the right to have the entire estate, the same as if they've been together for 5 years. So it does give them that right. Again, that could be changed by will. So again, it's the default position that we're looking at.
OK, this is only in England and Wales. What about Scotland?
Scotland, in fact, has already consulted. They consulted earlier in the year. The Scottish Government has responded. Their law is very different, and so their proposals are very different. But they're a little way ahead of us in terms of enacting something.
And much of these proposals mean that the onus is now on the couples to do something if they want to go against this. Do you think this is going to create more cost and more work, and actually that people will take this up?
Take it up. I mean, if people want to get out of it, then they'll have to make a will. I'm not sure.
Is that the right way of going about this?
Absolutely, I think it is, because so many people believe that they have rights at the moment, and they're extremely vulnerable. You could live together for 30 years and find one person dies, and then you're entitled to nothing. And people end up in really horrible litigation sometimes with the wider family, which is really awful. And this is to deal with that.
OK, should the government then go further?
The government should certainly enact the proposals that were brought out by the Law Commission last year. The Law Commission did a report. This is only a consultation. A report is going to follow. But there's a final report that came out last year which was dealing with cohabiting couples on separation. At the moment, it seems the government's rather kicked that into the long grass. They say they're awaiting some research in Scotland because Scottish cohabitants already do have some rights. But we really need that to happen. It would be bizarre for a cohabitant to be entitled to their partner's estate on death and to get absolutely nothing on separation. So they really need to be done in tandem.
So this is almost like the first stage towards that?
Well, it's part of the parcel. They both need to happen.
OK, David, thank you very much. Very good to speak with you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Declan.